UvaldeRadio.net. Good afternoon. Happy Friday to you. Robert Miguel is here with you, and we're getting ready for the weekend. Lots of great stuff going on in Uvalde, whether it's here locally or out in Concan or out at the river, whatever it is you're doing. Lots of options here in beautiful Uvalde, Texas. Tonight, big show at the Longhorn Sports Bar and Saloon. You just heard the man right there, Mario Flores. I Only Miss Her When It Rains. One of his more recent tracks that he put out to radio. And he's playing tonight at Longhorn, one of the newer bars here in Uvalde. We're excited. I'm going to make my first appearance there tonight. Check it out. And I'm looking forward to seeing Mario live and in concert. And I've got Mario on the phone. Mario Flores, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Robert, man? Great. Thanks for having me on. I know it's been a while since we've had a chance to chat. Last time I think was out in Concan. You just mentioned that, but I'm excited. I'm happy to be coming to Uvalde. It's been a while since I've been there, so I'm looking forward to it, and I've heard nothing but great things about the venue, and we're pretty excited. We're stoked.
No, you're right. You know, last time I think I saw you, last time I talked to you, kind of more of on a radio DJ kind of level was when you were playing over at
Joe Jimmy's.
Joe Jimmy's, right. He used to play there very regularly, actually. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you were helping out with the booking because a lot of the artists that you work with were playing there. Not so much anymore, right? Ever since the pandemic, I guess that slowed down a bit.
Yeah, that kind of took a second seat to some of the other things that I was working on. But yeah, I loved being out there in Concan. And actually, we were playing for the John Dixon Festival, I think, when I saw you the last time. Mm-hmm. But I've loved it out there, and we love Cody Davenport that owns the Joe Jimmy's.
Yeah.
So it's good to be back in the area. I know Concan's not Uvalde, but I have a lot of friends and family down there, so I'm hoping we get a good turnout tonight.
Now, the very last time I actually saw you perform was in Fort Worth. We were up there about a year and a half, 2 years ago for the Texas Country Music Awards, and you were warming the stage for Kinfo, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And you, man, the band, you guys were on fire. You sounded great. Of course, Kinfo is always great as well, too. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys do your thing, man.
Hey, we're like I said, we're stoked about it, and that was a great show, and those guys are amazing. I love Rico and the boys there. They become like family to us. So we're excited. We're going to bring that same energy we had that night out there to you at the Longhorn there in Uvalde, and I'm excited that you're going to be showing up now. Now that means I got to step up my game.
No. No, I'll be drinking. No problem. So, Mario, let's go ahead and talk about, you first of all. I know many people know who you are. You've been a kind of a staple in Texas, in the San Antonio area, the South Texas country music scene. But for those who don't know, I guess in your own words, give us a little bit of a backstory. Tell us who you are, where you've been, man.
Jeez, I've been pretty much. I'm that Johnny Cash song. I've been everywhere, man.
Right.
That's kind of the way. I mean, I started singing music and playing music when I was 5 years old, and it just was a passion throughout my upbringing. School, was in choir, all state. Then I pursued a career in why I went to college, and it just kept leading back to music. Mm-hmm. And eventually, it became something that I knew that I could probably make a living off of, and comfortably. So, with the support of my family, my wife, my kids, I was able to take a step away from corporate America, and I started playing music literally about 20 years ago. People think things happen overnight. They know we've been playing and hustling for a long time. I've had 5 number ones in Texas, which I'm very proud of. I now own my own music venue down here in Boerne, Texas, and the thing that I love more about that is that, just like you mentioned, I love to help these up-and-coming kids that I know just have the desire and the talent. They just don't have the means, and they may not have the guidance. And that's what I've always wanted to do in my career, is kind of help those next guys make it to the next level. You mentioned Kinfo. I know when he first came to town from Michigan, he had no idea what was going on in the scene. And I kind of took him under my wing, and me and Rico become extremely great friends. And look where they are now. I mean, they're just blowing up everywhere. So that's kind of what I love about music is the camaraderie, the friendship. In Texas especially, I've been to Nashville, I've done all those things. It's just something different about the scene down here that I just love. And music's always been a passion. I write music, so I've co-written, several of my songs. But it's kind of like Cody Johnson. You kind of come to a point where, hey, I can write those songs, but some of these guys are amazing songwriters. Mm-hmm. So I've also used other people's music, and I've also helped other people with obtaining singles for their projects and their work. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I'm proud to say that 2 years ago, I happened to be mentoring, and working with some young kid named Tristan Mares and his manager, and I was kind of helping them along. And Alex Torres, who's part of Torres Music Group, is an amazing guy out in Nashville. And he's got it together, and he created his own record label, TMG Tejas, and specifically to help the Latino artists in Texas, Nashville, wherever, try to the same thing that I was kind of doing, and that's why we kind of bonded, is to kind of help us figure out the ways of the world that we don't really understand and don't know. The music industry can be very tough. And so if you have somebody that's been living it for a long time and in the know, it really helps to have those people in your corner. And Alex is that guy for me. And he signed me to a record label. I've never been signed to a record label in my entire 20 years of music. Everything was independent. I had to do it on my own. I've never had anybody, pushing me. And it's just night and day from, doing it on your own to having someone there in your corner with a publicist and the reach that they have. I mean, my first single off the EP that we produced with Alex and David Dorn, I went over 2 million streams in less than a year, and I've never even reached those numbers independently. So it just goes to show, if you have the right people in your corner and people that are willing to help, you can make it a long way. And I love Alex, and I love the group that we're with. Braxton Keith is a part of that. Gabe Lee, and he's looking to bring in some other artists here in Texas. And I'm excited. I got a brand new single, just so you know, and this one we will be pushing the radio, July 28th, called "See You Again." It's coming off of another one of my TMG projects, so I'm really excited about that. We'll perform that tonight there at the Longhorn. So if you want to come hear some new music that you may have not heard before, then come on out tonight. We'd love to see you.
It's going to be a great show. Again, we're talking to Mario Flores. He's going to be performing tonight at Longhorn Saloon, one of the newer sports bars and venues here in Uvalde. They did their grand opening just a couple of weekends ago, so you're breaking it in nice and early, and it's going to be good to have some top-notch quality musicians out there tonight. Now, Mario, you mentioned a little something about being a Latino in country music. Now, I'm not the kind of guy that throws around the R-word racism at everything. There are some people that do. I've been a Latino in radio for a long, long time. And when you're a guy like me who sounds like a white guy, so to speak, you know what I mean? And your radio, and people see it and they're like, oh, I've been called a coconut, all that crap all my life too. But there are obstacles. There are, racism is real. Again, someone looks at me funny, I don't think racist. You know what I mean? I'm very hesitant to throw out that label, but it is a real thing. And I'm not even saying it's about racism, but I would think that, Latinos, what kind of obstacles or what battles are we still fighting in Texas country music or music in general? You still feel like there's a work to do?
I definitely do, and you kind of said it. We can't just ignore it and say it doesn't exist. I mean, we're not John Connolly. We don't always wear rose-colored glasses.
No, right.
And it does happen, and I've preached that, and I've put it out there. I mean, I don't do it often because I don't like to get on my soapbox, but it has been very difficult for me as a Mexican-American artist to kind of get to those levels that you see a lot of other people get to when you know that you've got the same talent, you've got the same drive. But again, it's having good people behind you and backing you that can bring you that. But on your own, it does make it extremely difficult. I mean, I've gone to venues out in West Texas. Perfect example. I'm on the road with Gabe Garcia, who I knew had a great following. He'd just come off of the Nashville Star fame. He decided to come back to Texas. And I said, hey, well, let's join forces and become one entity, and we'll call it the Bubba Loves Beer Tour. And we started to tour around Texas. Well, we went to one of the bigger venues out in West Texas, and I won't mention names, but, you show up, and there's maybe 15 people there. And the manager was like, man, you guys were amazing. I don't get it. I don't know why people aren't here. And then one of the other persons that was there said, well, a lot of people called and said that they thought it was a Tejano band because of the name, just because of the name.
Right.
So they take the Flores or the Garcia or the Mares, and they assume that, hey, you know what, that's going to be a Mexican artist, a Tejano act. We're not going to show up.
And it's so interesting, even going back to Richie Valens, Ricardo Valenzuela, La Bamba. That's one of the things that impresses me about you is that you go by Mario Flores. You cannot deny that is a Latino Hispanic name, but that does, make the road a little harder, right, for you to.
It does. No, a lot is in the name, and it does make it more difficult. But I will say, the next time we did come back, because the manager was just blown away at how good we were, the word got out, and we did bring in the crowd, but it took us an extra step. So we have to almost work harder to overcome that stigmatism with our name, to kind of get our name out there to where people will start to respect it and appreciate it. And but there still is racism. I just talked to Rico last night. We were at a show on Wednesday night. He was up in Arkansas, and he goes, "Mar, this has never happened to me," and it really blew him. It blew him back, and it made it difficult for him to finish the show because you've seen a Rico show. The guy is just 100% balls to the ball. And he had somebody come up and call him a racial slur.
Wow.
Get off the stage, and I don't want to say the word, but a racial slur, and he heard it. Everybody heard it, and all of his fans immediately got this guy and just got him kicked out of the venue.
Wow.
But it affected him that much. Where you don't think it like you just said, we got to realize that it's still there. The racism is going to be there.
And again, like I said, I will never ever resort. That's not the first card you know what I mean? that I throw out. But sometimes it is just there. It is. There's nothing else you can call it but blatant, ignorant racism and hate.
Exactly.
And I always respect, like I said, I always respect guys like you and Rico Gonzalez from Kinfo, who are going out there with the most ethnic name possible. Putting it out there. Makes us proud, man. So anyway, aside from like socio-political stuff, Mario, it's going to be excited to see you guys out there. You got your band, Soda Creek Band. The full band's going to be out there tonight too, right?
Yes, sir. We're pumped and ready. We're going to head out here in just a bit, so we'll be in Uvalde, Texas tonight, and I invite everybody out there to come on out. And Robert, I appreciate everything you do because you're a pioneer just like me, and I appreciate what you're doing out there in Uvalde, showing them and bringing them the music that sometimes can't be heard. And that's why I was in radio as well. I mean, anything I could do to push music is what I want to be involved in. So I've come full circle, and I've been in radio. Now I own a venue. I'm able to bring up these young kids and help them further their careers. So it's just I'm where I want to be right now. So I'm excited. Can't wait to see you tonight. I can't wait to see everybody out there. Come out. It's going to be a great show. Yeah,
it sounds like it's going to be a fantastic time. Sounds like you're doing very, very well, Mario. Okay, so if we want to find out about your music and other projects, where do we go?
It's our website, www.mariofloresmusic.com.
MarioFloresMusic.com. And again, the show is tonight at the Longhorn Sports Bar and Saloon. That's at 1131 West Main Street, the new bar on the west side of town. If you need details about anything, just go find them on Facebook. $10 cover charge is what I'm hearing at the door. And I think you can probably still make a table reservation too if it's not too late. So let's go on and get some more music on from you, Mario. What are we going to play now? I think we're going to play Beer Time, the big hit, right?
Yeah, that's my favorite song. We're going to be drinking some beer tonight.
Definitely going to be drinking some cold beers tonight at the Longhorn. So, man, we look forward to seeing you tonight, Mario. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
It's UvaldeRadio.net with Mario Flores.